Welcome to County Report This Week. I'm Sonya Burke. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next half hour, parents testify in front of the Board of Education about school start times. And county officials announce the opening of the Thinkstitute. But we begin with new legislation introduced by the county executive that would aid the police department when it comes to combating human trafficking. At a recent news briefing, council members and law enforcement officials stood by Mr. Leggett's side as he laid out the details. Susan Kennedy reports.
The nature of human trafficking keeps changing, and we must adopt our laws to keep abreast of all of those many changes. The need to protect the lives of innocent women forced into prostitution and to punish those who would destroy the lives of those women.
This new legislation will require body works operators to apply for licenses and undergo criminal background checks. The second bill allows the county to revoke occupancy permits of unlicensed body works establishments.
This is certainly a great day for Montgomery County when it comes to putting a clear message out that we will not tolerate prostitution venues here in Montgomery County, but also that we're taking a serious stand when it comes to the victimization of women and sometimes boys that are caught up in these unfortunate situations.
The bills come just 6 months after the creation of the county's Human Trafficking Task Force. Last year, police shut down 16 body works establishments in Montgomery County. As this illegal industry flourishes in our area,
I'm Sergeant Penrod with the Montgomery County Bison Intelligence.
Officials say this law will be key in the fight to shut these businesses down.
It allows inspection. It holds the owner of the body works accountable, and that's what's important because the employees have always been held accountable. But now the owners will, one, not only be identified through the application process because that wasn't always possible, but two, they're accountable for all the actions that occur in their establishment.
The measures are expected to be on the desks of council members within the next week. If the bills pass, Montgomery will join Prince George's and the district in having laws in place to combat this growing problem. In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Heroin-related deaths are on the rise around the state and here in Montgomery County, but there is help and hope for those struggling with this addiction.
I was shooting 5 or 6, 7 times a day. Every day's different, of course.
Meet Ronnie, a Silver Spring resident who's now in recovery at the Avery Road Treatment Center.
Well, I ended up here because I had a problem with addiction. I used heroin, and it ruined my life.
In fact, he's lucky to be alive. Like many heroin-addicted patients, he's overdosed more than once, and he knows of several heroin addicts in Montgomery County who just didn't make it.
Within the past couple months, 5 people I've known have passed away. And the dangers are very real. As far as the treatment center goes, this place saved my life absolutely 100%.
The sheer number of heroin-related admissions are significantly up at this 60-bed facility that is owned by Montgomery County.
Kids that probably started off with pain pills from somebody's closet, and they've just progressed to heroin because it's cheaper and it's very prevalent.
Most of them tend to be in their 20s that we work with. A lot of them will say you don't see an older heroin addict because they don't make it that long.
To say that we're going to have 3 times as many heroin-related deaths this year as we did 3 years ago is horrific. If we had 30 young people gunned down in the course of a year, we'd be up in arms.
Ronnie said he's speaking out because he wants to help other addicts get help. Staffers say talking about the heroin epidemic is the first step.
The word needs to get out that this is definitely an epidemic, and the treatment is available.
They can come here and get help without judgment. People are going to care about how they're doing, check in on them.
People need to know what their treatment options are.
I now attend YAP, Young Adults Alternative Program, across the street. It's an IOP, intensive outpatient program, and it's kept me clean. This is what I need to do, because I want to have a future.
You can expect to hear more about the heroin epidemic in the coming weeks as Maryland Governor Larry Hogan has said he'll declare a state of emergency to address this growing issue. Montgomery County Executive Ike Leggett joined the efforts of Catholic Charities in asking for volunteer lawyers to assist children fleeing violence in Central America. Lorna Virgili reports.
It was a call to the county's legal community. Executive Ike Leggett asked for attorneys to do pro bono work to assist unaccompanied immigrant children arriving in the region.
That these are minors, that we cannot turn them away. We are going to do in Montgomery County what is compassionate, what is right, what is moral, what is ethical, and I am going to continue to do that in Montgomery County.
Catholic Charities Immigration Legal Service Pro Bono program is seeking lawyers who are willing to help in 85 cases they currently have where the minor still doesn't have legal representation.
We desperately need volunteer pro bono attorneys. So if you're here to listen to as part of our workshop today, please think and consider being part of that group. And secondly, these young people who come are in desperate situations. It's really a tough situation for them to come here. They don't often even want to be here from one perspective, but they've left their country because of all kinds of social problems at home.
Legal pro bono help in making sure that they can navigate the process and get to that wonderful benefit, which is a green card.
More than 1,200 unaccompanied minors are currently living in Montgomery County. Immigration matters do not have the right to legal representation, so this call is to members of the Maryland Bar to help fill the gap in immigration court.
In particular, I want to send a message to the Latino community, to the attorneys who are bilingual and bicultural. We need you desperate. For the Latino community, it's so essential that now we speak out.
Interested attorneys can sign up to volunteer by sending an email to probono@catholiccharities.dc.org. In Rockville, for County Report This Week, I'm Lorna Virgili.
There was a record turnout for the 35th annual Women's Legislative Briefing recently held in Rockville. MyMC Media's Alini Barros joins us with more.
It was a day to talk about equal pay, domestic violence, human trafficking, and paid sick leave at the 35th annual Women's Legislative Briefing at the Universities of Shady Grove.
Montgomery County is a place that lifts women up. This is a conference that really motivates and stimulates. We deal with issues that are relevant and important for the women of today.
Hundreds of women attended this all-day event to learn about issues and legislations to come up in the 2015 Maryland General Assembly. But the most talked issues of the day were equal pay and paid sick leave.
We're in a country where it costs more to send your toddler to child care than it does to pay for the first year of college tuition at most public institutions. In Maryland, the cost of child care for a toddler is about $13,000 a year.
And getting women to run for office could make a difference in the legislation affecting them.
I'm really impressed with the quality of women that are out there learning how to lobby, learning how to advocate for our issues. And then what I'm hoping for is more women candidates running for office. A woman's voice makes an entire difference at the table.
We have more women in elected office, so we can see what's possible. You know, they're great role models for young girls. You can't imagine, you can't hope for what you can't see. Now they can see women leaders and they can think, I can do that.
Legislators also stressed the importance of creating a united platform to advocate for these issues.
But not just the issues, but how to organize and mobilize and strategize around getting that agenda through, both at the state level and in the federal level.
My hope is that women will continue to do that, to stay apprised of the issues, advocate, and run for office.
For County Report This Week, I'm Alini Barros.
Coming up on County Report This Week, Tacoma Park is in the running for a $5 million energy prize. Montgomery County Executive Ike Leggett announces the opening of the Thinkstitute. And later, local parents, students, and teachers testify about school start and end times. Stay with us. County Report This Week will be right back.
Yeah, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going.
Recycle more now.
Hey, mister, down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout, and this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe, so respect the bus.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonya Burke. In response to the arrival of transportation companies such as Uber and Lyft, the Montgomery County Council is introducing 3 bills to address some of the issues the taxi cab industry is facing. And as Susan Kennedy tells us, council members want to ensure a competitive market while providing safe and convenient services. Susan?
That's right. Council members hope by establishing these bills, they will create a level playing field for all taxi service companies. The bills were the subject of a work session for the Council's Transportation and Environment Committee. Councilmember Hans Remer says what the Council is attempting to accomplish is complicated.
The concern, of course, would be that the rules that we impose on Uber become so strict that Uber says, well, we're pulling out, and that's not what we want. On the other hand, we want to be able to assure residents that when they get into that car, that the highest standards of safety are in effect.
Some of the regulations that have been proposed in the legislation include who can get licenses and would require companies like Uber and Lyft to meet certain registration requirements. As Roger Berliner tells us, there has been some pushback from those companies in what is being asked of them, specifically requiring drivers be fingerprinted as part of their registration.
Uber and Lyft resist that. They believe that their background checks are actually superior to what communities across the country have required on fingerprinting. I don't think our committee is convinced of that, particularly insofar as it costs $35 and you get it in 72 hours. We don't see why that's such a significant impediment to someone becoming a driver in this way.
One of the bills addresses how Uber and Lyft has affected taxi cab companies here in the county. Council members say their arrival calls for legislation that assists the existing taxi cab companies in adapting to the changing marketplace.
The private sector is proving that there's a better way to provide this service. And Uber is better than the traditional taxi model. I don't think there's any question about that. And so what are we going to do in that environment? Are we going to, shut out the better service model because it challenges some of our notions about how things should be done? Or are we going to adapt, and keep moving forward? And I think we should be moving forward.
In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan recently released his fiscal 2016 budget that shows across-the-board cuts in categories such as education and libraries in an effort to erase a projected shortfall in state funds. The proposal also slices the nearly $1 million the county got last year from the state to repair potholes.
It will clearly affect our ability to patch potholes, and the Transportation Committee will discuss that in the course of its budget. I mean, some of these things we're going to have to backfill. I anticipate, in Health and Human Services, which is my committee, I anticipate we're going to have to take a hard look at what we can afford to backfill with county dollars. And I think the message to that is that this will be a difficult year to launch new initiatives with county dollars because the state's in constrained circumstances, and we're going to have to backfill a lot of these cuts, including the GCEI cut.
State Delegate Ana Sol Gutierrez is speaking out against the governor's proposed budget and its impact on education here in Montgomery County.
I am very disappointed with his starting out with cutting what I think is one of the most important aspects. As you heard me talk about education, Montgomery County, Prince George's, Baltimore, really a number of counties have a higher cost because it's more expensive to live there. It's more expensive to do everything there. He's cut that by 50%. People are applauding that it's only 50%. What a message from him to say that the most important thing to me in the state of Maryland is that we maintain our educational quality at the highest level.
The Red Brick Courthouse in Rockville is now home to the county's Thinkstitute, a living lab for the Internet of Things. County Executive Ike Leggett announced the opening of this technology laboratory that provides an unparalleled test bed for startups, established companies, and research institutions.
The Internet of Things is one of the hottest trends in technology. Just as we have internet that connects people, we are now looking at ways to develop capacity and resources to develop equipment and services.
The cornerstone project in the Thinkstitute is the Safe Community Alert Network, or SCALE, which seeks to test and build the county's capacity to deliver technologies to vulnerable populations. The courthouse will be a staging area for about 15 companies and the program as the county deploys new sensor technology to the Victory Court Senior Living Facility in Rockville. Tacoma Park officials recently learned that the city is one of 50 semifinalists competing for the Georgetown University Energy Prize. Leading the way in energy efficiency, Tacoma Park is the only city in Maryland to reach the semifinals, and city staff say they are confident of their chances at winning the $5 million prize. At a recent news conference, the competition's project manager explained the goal of this project and how cities can advance in the competition.
Energy efficiency is the cleanest, most accessible form of fuel available to us. We don't have to build new power plants. We don't have to change our fuel mix. We just save energy. And yet, we waste more than half of the energy that we produce in this country. The actual energy metric is pretty simple. We're taking the aggregate electric and natural gas usage for the residential and municipal sector. So, public buildings and homes, electric and natural gas. We're adding that up, dividing by the number of people served by those utilities in the community. And so we can compare communities of somewhat different size across the country. We'll also be normalizing for weather and climate and some other things like that. It's a reduction in that energy usage over the next 2 years. We'll take those top 10 or so communities, and they'll enter the final round. What we're looking for in that round is not just the energy saving, it's the models, it's the innovation, it's the ideas that can be replicated and scaled across the country.
Anyone familiar with Tacoma Park knows that we have a reputation for being a haven for environmentalists and activists.
Tacoma Park Mayor Bruce Williams and Sustainability Manager Gina Mathias also talked about why they like the city's chances in this competition.
In particular, we're in a strong position on this because we have a history over decades now of innovating in ways to reduce energy and be a more sustainable community. We already have some cases where residents are getting together trying to form solar cooperatives and things like that. So I think more of those types of things will make it a lot easier for us to do.
We want to help residents start saving energy at home. That is going to be the first and the foremost way that Tacoma Park will win the $5 million prize. We are environmentalists and activists, and the Georgetown Energy Prize is such a great way for our residents to rally together and to make a big difference in the community.
For more information about this national competition, visit the Georgetown University Energy Prize website at guep.org.
I'm Rockville 11's Chloe Leschner. Coming up next, we'll take you to the Glenview Mansion for the 16th Annual Wedding Expo, when County Report This Week continues.
And later, our Pet of the Week. Stay with us. County Report This Week is coming right back.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonya Burke. The clock is running out on the debate whether the Montgomery County School Board should adjust school start times. Board members have heard from the public, and now the decision is in their hands. MyMC Media's Krista Brick has the story.
Montgomery County is no longer leading the way. We're falling behind. If we don't make school start times later, we're putting our kids at a disadvantage.
Montgomery County Public School students, parents, and teachers are weighing in on when school should start. At a recent school board hearing, here's what they had to say.
Even for me being an early riser, it's horrible, and I have to push myself every day to get out of bed instead of just rolling back over and going back to sleep.
I always feel tired at school, and just today I witnessed a kid in my third period fall asleep on his desk while the teacher was talking to everybody.
It's a lot of fear of change, but after-school activities adjust, parents' schedules adjust, sports adjust.
Advocates for a change in school start time use posters like these to show the school board they have a message, and that message is that sleep deprivation is causing health and safety concerns for the students.
The options? Shifting all start times by 20 or 35 minutes. Starting elementary school first. Splitting the high school day. Adjusting just the high school morning start by 50 minutes, making no change but adding some flexibility to high schoolers' schedules. Some of the proposals come at no cost, and others have a $6 million price tag, mostly to pay for transportation. But this high school teacher says a bell times shift could have a negative effect on staff who live in other counties, and the effort doesn't really address the big issue causing lack of sleep.
There's only 24 hours in a day, and our students are very much overcommitted, and that they need to deal with the root of the problem is that they don't get enough sleep because they're doing too many other things or have a big academic schedule.
School board members haven't yet put this issue to bed.
Right now, if I had to vote, I'm leaning towards the 35-minute, extending the bell times by 35 minutes.
We have not heard from many elementary folks, but the proposals that are still under consideration are those that move everybody back. But I think we need to find some relief for our high school and middle school students.
The board will accept written feedback on the issue until February 2nd. A decision is expected February 10th. For County Report This Week, I'm Krista Brick.
The historic Glenview Mansion was the perfect setting for the City of Rockville's 16th annual Wedding Expo. Rockville 11 has the story.
Love is in the air at the 16th Annual Wedding Expo. With over 30 vendors, this is a one-stop shop for anyone planning a wedding or special event. Guests met event planners, decorators, and caterers and looked for cakes, invitations, flowers, and even dresses.
I think what really sets us apart is that because we are a mansion, we can only allow a certain amount of vendors into the space. So it's really accommodating for our guests to be able to talk one-on-one with the different vendors and procure some of their services for their special day.
The personal aspect of the expo made it an enjoyable and comfortable place to start the planning process.
I came here because I needed ideas, and this gave me a lot of ideas, and I dragged my maid of honor, so she gets used to it.
It's really cool. I've learned a lot, seeing different things like the photo booth over there. I would have never thought of that before, but I absolutely have to have it now.
The event wasn't just open to those getting ready to walk down the aisle.
People have milestones in their lives all the time. It can be for birthdays, it could be for brisses, it could be for just ceremonies or receptions. It can be for conferences or networking events. So really, the vendors you see here today can be used for any type of event you may have.
Many guests left feeling that the historic mansion could be the perfect spot for their celebration.
It's actually, if I wanted to have my wedding here, it's nice to look at the mansion also.
Well, the mansion is gorgeous. When you rent out the mansion, you get the entire mansion, first and second floor. The second floor is an art gallery, and of course it includes the formal gardens, which is absolutely spectacular in the spring and the fall and the summer.
If you missed the event, you can always schedule a tour of the Glenview Mansion. For more information, go online to rockvillemd.gov/Glenview or call 240-314-8660. For County Report This Week, I'm Chloe Leschner.
Coming up on County Report This Week, these third graders attend a performance at Imagination Stage. Plus, you'll meet our Pet of the Week. Don't go away. County Report This Week is coming right back.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC 311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
President Obama's plan for free community college has put Montgomery College in the news. MC has been featured on national and local newscasts, in the Washington Post educational blog GradePoint, and MC President Dr. Darian Pollard penned an op-ed for the Baltimore Sun. MC is a finalist for 2 awards of excellence from the American Association of Community Colleges. MC President Dr. Darian Pollard is a finalist in the Emerging Leadership category, and the college itself is a finalist for an Outstanding College Corporate Partnership. The awardees will be announced in April. MC will host 2 College Gold Maryland events to help college-bound students and their families fill out the free application for federal student aid form. Professional assistance will be provided on February 8th and the 26th.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonya Burke. Thanks to a partnership between MCPS and Imagination Stage, more than 3,000 students have the opportunity to experience the arts. MCPS TV has this story.
So we're going to pretend to be actors right now. We're going to use our bodies to show how we are feeling. Everybody stand up, 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 up.
Learning Through Theater is a partnership between Imagination Stage and MCPS, where students and teachers are able to learn by making connections between what they experience as an active audience in a live theater and their classrooms.
This is our second year partnering with Montgomery County Public Schools. We hope that when they see 101 Dalmatians, they're able to see some of the aspects of set design that contribute to design thinking, which they're working on in their curriculum, through the maps on the stage, through the scenery. We hope they're able to understand story.
Camera is ready.
Oh, I do hope we have enough blankets.
This collaboration offers 3,000 third-grade students from 27 MCPS Title I schools not only the opportunity to attend a free performance of 101 Dalmatians and experience live theater, but also curriculum material that allows them to expand their vision on creativity and art.
It enables 3,000 students from Montgomery County Public Schools, Title I schools that otherwise wouldn't have an arts experience, to be able to have a live arts experience, and not only to have the arts experience, but to go back to school and have curriculum back it up and help them to understand how arts is not only a great experience, but it's also part of life and should be.
Being brave is a feeling that lives inside you.
We learn from each other in this partnership, and so we collaborate, and teachers get great resources to begin to work with students before they come, and they get to see a wonderful piece of art and go back to their classrooms and talk about it, write about it, think about the designers of how it was designed. It's just an amazing opportunity for our students.
I did not know what happened to how did they do the car setting?
I liked the part when they all came back together.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Now it's time to meet our pet of the week. Here's Kathy Stanhope from the Humane Society. Kathy?
Your pet of the week this week is Boyland. He had a little bit of a hard luck story. He's just a 4-year-old neutered male, and he's looking for a home, but we got him with a broken leg. He came in as a stray with a broken leg, and he's all healed now. He's in perfect health. He does have a little bit of a limp. We don't know if he'll keep that for the rest of his life, but he gets along great. He's a nice cat, and he's looking for a home. Please learn more about Boylan and other cats like him at our website at mchumane.org, or give us a call at 240-252-2555 for more information about Boyland.
With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Sonya Burke. Thank you for joining us.